Okay, we are ready. Welcome. Hi, thank you for joining me again. We are going to continue working on the Kanban board today. And the first thing I want to do, first of all, is since I'm going to keep working or keep adding a few more tests for projects today, before I do that, I want to go back and make sure that all of the tests are passing, because I'm 99% sure that, actually, I'm 100% sure that we have a bunch of broken tests, and before moving forward, I want to take care of that. So let's jump in. I already have a Vite server running here, and let's start off by running all the tests, see how many problems we have. Okay, quite a few. So 11 failed tests. Let's start at the top, see what's broken. And we're going to start in the test feature add group test, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, actually, let me take a look at that error here. Failed to open stream. We deleted that component when we overhaul the thing, so that test doesn't even apply anymore. So let's get rid of that. Tests feature, what was it? Add group test. So this add group component does not exist anymore. Let's get rid of the test. And let's see, what's the next one? Hey Hamad, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining me. So glad you're here. Add task test. Let's open that. Add task test. And let's run this file. Okay. It can create task, call to member function groups on null. We already know what that's about. We're creating a group, but we are not assigning a user ID to it. So that should be very simple to solve. Can create task. We have a group here. Let's start by creating a user. That'll be equal to user. Import that class. Factory. Create. And then down here, let's add the for method. And let's pass in the user. And down 4 lines, we need to also make sure that we are acting as that user here. Anything else? Seems all right. Let's do the same thing for the one below. So copy this line, 14 lines down, paste it. Let's do for user, and then acting as well. I'm spotting an error here as well, but I'm gonna let the test let me know, and I'll explain what it is. So let's save that and run the file again. Okay, failed twice, but this time it's because it's trying to set a component data called description, but it's not found in the add task component. Can you guess why that is? Has to do with the thing that we did last week? Yeah, last week. Basically, we implemented everything, we moved everything to form components, and as part of all of the things that we moved into form components was the description property that now lives in the form component. Sorry. Ahmed, other screen. What do you mean? Other screen. What's going on? Oh, why is it not sharing my? Is it not sharing VS Code? That's weird. Huh. That's interesting. I'm sharing my entire screen. Shouldn't do that. Let me see. Let me see if I can fix it. Well, real quick. Hold on. Display capture. Yeah, that's it. Code is not showing. Yeah, I just realized that I don't know why it's not. I'm sharing my entire screen. It's so weird. Hold on. Let me hide this. Let me remove this one. Remove. Yeah, sure. Why not? Why is it not showing? I'm gonna close Arc. See what happens. Close Arc. Now that's weird. All right. I'm gonna remove the monitor sharing that I was doing, and I'm gonna add it again. Something OBS is not playing nice today. So that went to black. Let's add that monitor again. Screen capture. Something changed in this. Something looks different here. Screen capture. No, wait. Yeah, something definitely changed in the update, or something updated. Oh, there's a bunch of deck. Yeah. In OBS, I'm looking at the add source menu, and they deprecated the display capture on macOS, which is fantastic. Let's see. Display capture, there you go. Should be behind me. There. You can see the window, right? Now you can see OBS. And can you see the code now? I hope you do. Let me know. Because right now, it used to be that I could open OBS and be hidden. Or maybe that's a property that I needed to enable. Hold on. Hide from OBS capture. There you go. Okay, now we're looking at the code. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know. That I didn't know that was happening. That was very interesting. Thank you, Ahmed. You saved it. All right, so I didn't do much, thankfully. This test was failing because of this user. This was not here, so I added that line, that user line, that from the factory, and then I added this for method here so that the group is created with a user or for a user. And I did the same thing in the second test, but now it's failing because of this error. It's not showing a property. Is the size okay, by the way? I don't think I'm zoomed in. That's better. So what happened is right here in both tests, actually, I'm setting the description property in the add task form, but that form doesn't have that property anymore because we moved it to the task form component. So now, thankfully, this is very easy to fix. Can you test forms in Livewire? I don't see why you shouldn't. Like instead of mounting the add task component, you would mount the task form component. But another way that you can get past this is by using dot notation. Just set form description, because that's where the description property now lives, and then you call store, and that's it. I'm going to do the same thing down here. And should be good. Let's try that. Run the file again. Did I save? Yes, I did. There you go. Okay, that's one fixed. Let's move on to the rest. So past again. Authentication. That's not. Oh, that's part of the Breeze starter kit, but I don't know why this one's failing. Navigation menu cannot be rendered. Why is that? Expected response. Oh, I know why. Let's open the test and I'll show you why. So if we go to, there is an auth folder here that was created for us when we installed Breeze, and in the authentication test, navigation menu, this one right here, can be rendered. It's actually doing a get request to the dashboard page or the dashboard route, and it's looking for the layout navigation component. That's not there anymore because we changed the dashboard to look like this. Now we just have the sidebar and all of the other components. So the Vault component that test is looking for is no longer there, and therefore we are getting a 404 response. So do we need that test? I don't think we do. Let's remove it. So let's go 11 up, delete, save, and let's run everything again. Best. Okay, down to 7. Authentication is okay. Authentication is fine. Email verification is fine. Now we have another password confirmation test failure. Password can be confirmed. Let's see what that's about. Wait, let's see it here. What's the error? Okay, it's expecting to be redirected to dashboard. Or is it expected to be redirected to localhost or dashboard? I don't know. Password confirmation test. Let's see what's going on there. Password confirmation test. Okay, acting as user. So yeah, it's expecting a redirect to the dashboard route. And I don't know when did we change that, to be honest. But instead it's redirecting to the home page, to just the root. So let's just modify this test real quick. Oop. That should clear the assertion there. And what's the next one? Next one is edit group. But so this one should be fine, and we are moving down to edit group test. Let me run a test again just to make sure. Did I save? Yes, I did. Okay, everything passes here. Now let's look at the edit group test that is failing because of this error again. How many errors do we have about that? This one here on edit task as well. Example test, what is that for? Let's just remove that. And then on define constant group compo, what is going on there? This is in group test. Group test. What is this? What happened here? Oh, look at group compo. When did this happen? Group component. And look at that, Livewire ST. That's weird. Is my VS Code haunted? All right, let's save that. Let's go and solve the other two errors from before. This is in edit task and edit group. So edit group first. Again, same thing. We just need a user here. Import factory. Create. And then for user. And then finally acting as user. Save this one and edit task. Needs the same thing. Let me copy this line from here. Copy line. Paste. Or user and 9 lines down, acting as user. Okay, down to 5. Now we have an error in several errors. What is this? I just fixed this one. Oh, same thing. It's looking for the name property in the component, but we moved that into the form, so we have to fix that as well. Edit group test. Form.name. Edit task, the same thing. Yep, here. Okay. Save. This one's gonna fail too, and you'll see why. So edit group test, fine. It's failing on edit task, and the error is mine. Always have to miss one. Let's run just this file. Okay, so only one failing, and it says type property task form task must not be accessed before initialization. Guess why that's happening? So look at the test. We are setting the form description on, we're setting the description property on the form component, but in the form component, edit task, no, sorry, task form. Task form has another property called task, because this form is not only used for creating records, but also for updating records. Now, the test itself, it's for updating records, right? But I never set the task that I wanted to update. I only set the description. So I need to also set the task that I'm working with and that I want to also update. So look at this. Let's go back to the test. And this happens with the set task method, which is called in the edit task component. So we could call the set task just to mimic. We could do three things. One is more simple than the other. This one is reacting to the edit task event, because that happens when you click on a task. I emit an event and pass the task as a payload, so that the dialog, which is another component, can load that task, set it as the task we are working with, and then display that and show the pop-up or the dialog. So we could either mimic or we can fake the event in the test and pass the task. We could call the set task method and pass the task, or the other very simple way to do it is not this. The other simple way that we could do it is just in the test. Where's the test? Edit task test. We could also just call set form task and simply pass the task that we are working with. And then the update is going to work with the description, which is from the new task, and everything should work as expected. So let's do it that way. It's the simplest way, quickest way, and it works. Let's run the file again. Should work, and it does. Perfect. All right. What else? What else is broken? Group test. It can move tasks to target position. I think that's the only one. So let's go into the group test component. Sorry, test. Where is it? This one. All right, let's run this file. Looks like everything has to do with sorting. The first error, trying to access array offset of value on value of type no. What is that? That is a very interesting error. The error message doesn't tell me anything, to be honest. Let's see if we can figure it out. Here, it can move target. Which one is the first error? It can move target. It can move task to target position. Let's check that sort method on the group component. So let's open Kanban group. Oh, okay. So when we introduced the sorting of groups, not just tasks per group, but groups as well, we needed to add a third parameter so that, well, this was actually introduced when we enable the sorting in between groups, so we can move a task from one group to the other. So we needed a target group ID so that we can know which is the target group we are moving this task to, and that's a third parameter, but the test doesn't use that parameter. It's just using two parameters, the name of the method, which is sort, and then these two, the ID and the sort position, I think. So let's pass that extra parameter here, which would be we're not dealing with moving in between groups. We're just using the same group. So let's use group get key. So we're staying in this, we are sorting this task in the same group. Did I not save? What's going on? Oh, and also we have this problem too. I think we should fix that first. Well, this one is fixing it. What's going on here? I can't even tell where this error is coming from. Let's see. Let's just run this one. Array offset of type null. Function update, handle component update data. What is this? So we have a user, we have a group, we create a group for that user. We set the state of all the tasks to be 0, 1, 2 for that group. Then we create it. We call sort. This one's weird. I'm gonna leave this for last. Not gonna let it drag me down just yet. I'm gonna work on this one because this one I know we just need the user. You know, so we need the third parameter here as well. Okay, that one is fixed. I'm guessing the same thing on the dragging up. Yep, same thing. Okay. Okay. What are you doing? Snapshot data. Group test. Does it have something to do with the group itself? Let's do a DD here and do group tasks. We have an array of tasks, 3 to be precise. ID 1, group ID 1. Not dealing with, wait. No, yeah, it's fine. Project ID null, sort 1. So this should pass. And then find 2. So this task here, that's an ID 2, and the sort will be 2, so this should be true. Why is it failing before even that? What's with the group component here? So group model, project, there is no project. So this should give me all the tasks. We're calling, what's the method that we're calling here? I lost it. Get rid of that. DD, we don't need it. Oh, I'm not in the right test. That DD had no place there. This is the one that's failing. Yes. Okay. What's the difference between this and the one below? Creates a user, done. Creates a group for that user, done. Create 3 tasks with sort 1, 2, and 3 for that group, create, done. Ah, acting as, that's it. I hope that's the thing. Let's try it out. Acting as user. Yeah, that was the thing. Very, very sneaky. Stupid error. Doesn't even give me the right place of the error. Like something in the handle components in the Livewire handle thingy. Thank goodness I have something to compare it to. So are we done with the testing? Or with the fixing? Yes, 37 passing. Perfect. Okay, let's work on projects. So my idea is, let's create a new test specifically for tasks. I want to make sure that I can, not tasks, sorry, projects. I want to make sure that I can see the projects on the screen, which will be on the sidebar, but we'll cover that in a minute. I want to be able to create projects, update projects, and delete projects. Also, when I delete a project, all of the tasks that belong to that project should be set to, or the foreign ID on those tasks should be set to null. I don't know if we can do that on the migration. could be, or just before the delete, I can just disassociate all of them. We'll see. I'm not too worried about that one, to be honest. I'm just more concerned about showing, creating, and updating, and deleting. We'll take care of the tasks later. Now, one thing that I was thinking about is, well, here's the thing. 2 users create a list of projects. When I'm showing the list of projects, I should only show the list of projects for that user. Right now, the projects have no ownership, so that's a problem. The fastest way I can think of to resolve that is adding a foreign ID to the projects. And I know it causes a bit of duplication because the groups model has a relationship with the user, but I think I do need one more relationship in the projects, just for separating the projects with simple tenancy. So yeah, that'll be another test. Let's try with just a simple test, just to see if we can display the projects, and then we'll do the test where we can only show the projects for the currently logged in user. Let's clear this and let's PHP artisan test, and let's call it projects test. I don't know if that's a good name. Should it be sidebar test? We're going to create a sidebar component anyway. Are we going to be able to create? Wait, no. I think I mentioned this, but can't we just test the form? The form will be the one adding, updating, and, well, everything but listing. Okay, for the listing of the projects, I'm going to, instead of calling it projects test, I'm just going to call it sidebar test. Because when we get to adding and updating and deleting, that's all in the form, or it should be in a form component. So I think we can just test the component and without having to worry about the all of the components that use the form. So let's start with just showing it. So this will be in the sidebar. Sidebar test. There we go. Feature. My throat is so raspy. There you go. Sidebar test here. It shows all projects in the sidebar. So let's remove these 2 lines and let's think about what we need. So we need at least, let's create one project. One project would be enough. Let's say project. We already have the model. Project factory state, and let's call this, does project have project, do we have names in the project? Right now I don't think we do. But let's just say project name, test project, create. And then we just need to mount we're going to need a user, don't we? Not for now. Let's just mount it. Let's just mount it for now. And the component is going to be called, let's see, sidebar. You just want to make sure that once this component is mounted, we are going to be able to see the test project name render. What is going on? Test. There. Should be easy enough. We're gonna have a few problems here. First of all, I'm going to make sure, because this component is going to leave most likely in, not in Kaban. Use app Livewire sidebar. All right, let's see what we get. Run this. So table projects has no column named name. Let's fix that real quick. Create projects table. 14 lines down. Let's add one column called name. And now it's saying unable to find component sidebar. Okay, easy enough. Let's create that. PHP artisan make Livewire sidebar. And now it's complaining because it's not able to display the project name in the sidebar. So we are getting to the point where we need to modify the sidebar component. And the way that I'm going to do this is, let me check the dashboard real quick, because we already have a blade component for the sidebar, right? Let's see how complicated it is, because I'm tempted to just move all of this and use the blade component as the template for the Livewire component. But that usually creates more confusion than it solves. Because now what I would like to do is just move all of the templates for this component into the Livewire component, but I don't know if that's going to be too much. Let me check for example, just the sidebar. There's 1, 2, 3 components nested here. I guess I'm just gonna move it. Let's see. Where is it? Resources, views, components, sidebar, index. It has this X data here. This one has a group, but I guess, let me take a look again at the sidebar. All I need to do is render the sidebar items with the project names in the sidebar group with the just the project's title. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of the index itself because it's not too complicated. And I'm doing it because I want to have this section, this HTML, I want it to be visible when I open the template for the Livewire component. And that gives me a very visual idea of what the component does and how it works, instead of me opening the template for the Livewire component and then seeing, okay, now I need to go and look for the template on a blade component. So it's one extra step that can be confusing, especially when you are not looking at this code for a while. So I'm going to copy this entire thing, and I'm going to keep the subcomponents, the group, the item, and the brand. Those can stay as blade components, but I'm going to nest those in the template for the Livewire component instead of using a slot. So let's yank this from here and let's go to the sidebar template here. Resources, views, Livewire, sidebar. Let's paste all of that. Looks good. Now, here, instead of this slot, I'm just going to bring this content from the dashboard. Okay, yank that. And paste it here. Now this label, this group label will be projects. And this is where I'm iterating over all of the projects. So it'll be something like for each project in projects, and for each we should have let's move this one out of the for loop. This would be maybe yeah, all projects or unassigned projects. Let's keep it as all projects for now. Delete this one, and in here we're going to say project name. This will have more functionality in just a moment. We'll see if we can get to it. I hope we can get to it today. We're probably going to go over the hour, if that's okay, because clicking on this is going to then tell every other component in the page, the group component or every other component that we want to filter by this name. But for now, we just need to show it. Let's see. Very important, we need keys. This is a sidebar item. That's a problem. when we're dealing with blade components. Now I need to add a property for the key. So I would rather just bring the sidebar item out of the blade component and into here so that I can have more control over it. Hi, Weaverton, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Let's see what that looks like. So sidebar item. Kind of big. What am I doing here? Active. Okay, what I'm worried about is that I add the property for Livewire key, but it's not going to render because of this attributes thingy. I don't know. Kind of like it here because otherwise I'm gonna have to have all of this HTML in my Livewire component. Laracon, yes. What's that thing about Livewire that, what's his name? Caleb? I saw a tweet from Caleb saying that there will be news about Livewire. What could it be? Seems like some kind of a UI or project that we can use for Livewire creation. I don't know. It was kind of very secretive about it. When is it exactly? I forget the date. Okay, let's try this. I know I'm gonna have problems later, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah, I know. 27th, 28th. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. Flux. Oh, yeah, I know. Flux. What is Flux? So the key will be project get key. Maybe we can shorten this with just key. Or I don't know if we should, because we are inside a Livewire, sorry, Alpine.js scope. So let's make sure we're not interacting with anything else. Let's just keep it Livewire. Livewire key. No, it's wire key. What am I doing? Okay, now we need that projects array in sidebar. Shall we make it computed though? No, maybe not. See, this is where we are going to run into, this is what we are going to have to modify to scope it down to the user. Because if I do it like that right now, it's going to pass the test, but we're going to have to rework it, because that means that I'm getting all of the projects for all of the users, and that's just not good. Malformed for what? Malformed for each statement. Did I forget how to do a for each? Wait. No. Yeah, that's funny. I've been working on another language, and I just used their version of for each, which is stupid. Now, projects is no. Why is that? Did I do? Yeah, I did. I did something wrong in the component. I didn't do this. Look at that. All right, component works. We can show projects. Let's move on to the rework part. Second test, only show projects for the currently logged in user. It's very important. Come on, go to the test, please. Please go to the test. Just copy all of this. 6 line down, paste. Show only projects for logged in user. So that means we are going to need a user. And when we create a project, we need to create that project for that user. Now we need to create another project for a different user. So let's say stranger equals user factory create. And let's create another project. Select other project. This will belong to the stranger. So what I want is to just be able to see test project, and also I should not be able to see other project. I'm gonna get to the acting as in just a second. So assert not see, don't see text. Don't. Assert don't see text, other project. Okay. Oh, acting as, of course. Now, I'm probably going to break the previous test, but we'll wait for that to happen. For now, let's just worry about this. So create a user, create another user, create 2 projects for each. Can I see the one for the logged in user? Oh, I forgot the acting as parameter. And I can just see the one for the logged in user and not the other one. Okay. Let's run this one, just this one, and only this one. Call to undefined method app models project user. Now we need a relationship. So let's go to the project model and 10 lines down. Let's add another. Ooh, not here. Sorry. Add another method called user. This would be a belongs to. And let's return this belongs to user class. All right, let's run that again. Now it's the database. We need a user ID column. Easy enough. Create projects table. Table. Foreign ID for user. Run it again. Okay, now we get to the part where we need to filter that down because it's showing other project when it shouldn't be doing that. So let's go ahead and fix that. Losing my voice already. Ooh, what? How much time? Okay, we're at the 1 hour, but like I said, let's keep going. I want to make a lot of progress today. All right, so how do we filter this? Where do we filter this? Why do we filter this? When do we filter? Okay, so let's go to the sidebar component. Should be here. Instead of project all, we should do so let's do let's use the auth facade. Let's get that user and let's get all of the projects. Simple as that. Right? Maybe not. Now it's no. Okay. Let's see. Let me double check the test first. Yeah, there is the 4. Acting as. Okay, back to the component. Let's see first. Do we get a user? Oh, no, wait. We're missing one relationship here. We don't have a projects relationship on the user model. Duh. Let's go to user. Why? There. and another relationship called projects. Oh, and that is a has many. Has many projects. All right, let's test that again, and we're good. Awesome. So we can show the projects in the sidebar component, and we can only show projects for the logged in user. So we got that covered. What I would like to do now is actually see that in action, because we are not using that just yet. Let's create a couple of projects. First of all, let's run the migration. Very important. PHP artisan. Well, should we worry about that now? I mean, we have another test to run. We know that the component works. Yeah, let's worry about the test first. Let's make sure that everything works as it should, and then adding it to the UI. So instead, let's create another test. This time it's going to be called, we're going to test, first I want to make sure that we can test Livewire forms. We should, because a form is just a Livewire component behind the scenes. So let's quickly go to Livewire. There should be a documentation about testing forms, properties, calling actions, events, assertions. I don't know. Nothing form related. Let's see about forms here. Submitting a form. Adding validation. Let's try it out. Why not? I mean, I'm pretty sure we can. Let's create a test case for it first. So this would be not task, project form test. Is it project or projects? Project. Okay. So first test would be to be able to create projects. Okay, so the way that we are going to do this first is open the test that I just created. Project form test. It can create projects. So what do we need here? So we need the project data. So project equals to project factory do I want to? Yeah, no, just make. I'm probably gonna have to modify the factory class because there is nothing defined there. just to get a random name. But let's wait for the test to tell me. So we have a project. Next, we need to mount the component, which is the form, set the property, the project name in that form, and then call a store method in that form, and then check the database. So Livewire test, and the component name will be project form class. We are not going to pass anything to it just yet. We're going to set the name property to project name, and then call the store method. And then after that, we need to check the database with assert database has on the table projects. And this is the data, which would be a project with a name equal to project name. I'm not taking the user in consideration here just yet. And the reason I'm not doing that is because the way that I'm going to store or create a new project is using the logged in user. So I'm going to use the user's projects relationship, and on that relationship I'm going to call the create method, which will automatically assign the user ID foreign key into the model when creating, which is easier to do than just worry about it here. For that, I'm going to need a user though. So user model factory create. And then make sure that I log in as that user. I just remember that I have a test for the previous file that I never checked. And it's probably broken. We'll get to that. Okay, let's test this and see what happens. Oh, before I do that, let's use app Livewire. Where are the forms stored? In forms, there. Livewire forms, and this would be called project form. Now let's run. Class project not found. Of course. Unable to find component project form. Okay, let's create that. PHP artisan make, or sorry, Livewire form project form. I just added it. Are you kidding me? It's right there. What's going on? You have to save, of course. All right, let's run that again. Why? Can I not test classes, form classes? Really? Probably that's the case. That's probably the case. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the problem. Yeah, it's trying to load a Livewire component, and I thought that form components were just Livewire components, but they're not. So we're going to need a wrapper. This is going to be where? Where is this going to be? I think this is in this. Okay, the way that I'm envisioning this is, let me close this. Up here, I'm going to have a button on this side that I can use to create projects. And it's going to look like the, well, it's probably going to be a dialog. If it's a dialog, I can then create a component called create project. Yeah, let's do that. So what I'm going to do is there's going to be a button here. When I click it, I'm going to have a dialog box where I can put in the project details, the project name in this case. And that dialog is going to be my Livewire component. So I can just create a specific Livewire component that I'm then going to invoke using this button. So let's start by creating that component, PHP artisan make Livewire. Let's call it create project. Yeah, create project. No, add. Let's keep with the naming convention that I've been using so far. So add project, just like I have the add task, and I used to have the add group, but let's keep that same naming convention. So add project. Okay, so in here, instead of using this form component, I'm going to use app Livewire add project. I'm going to load that here. Instead of setting the name, I'm going to use form.name. And that component is also going to have a store method that is just going to invoke the form.store or the form store method. So now let's go to the add project component, 7 lines down. Let's add a public project form. Let's call that form. We need a store method. And that's just going to say this form store. We are going to probably need to change the name of this test file. All right, let's see how this works. Of course. Now we need the name on the project form class. Okay, we're moving forward. Project form. We need a public, not that, what the hell? Public name. Let's just do that and run it again. New error. Call to undefined method, project form store, of course. So a new method called store. Just that, run it again, and now it's going to tell me, oh, come on. You're telling me this doesn't exist? Did you not import it? I didn't import it. There. Okay, now we're checking the database and the table projects does not have the name or does not have the record. So, well, whoa. Name no. What do you mean name no? Oh, right, because see, this is null because we are using the factory, but this factory does not have a definition or a name. So let's go and fix that real quick. So project factory. 19 lines down, change this and let's set name with a fake name. Fake word, actually. We run that again. Now we have a random word for the project, but still, we are not creating that record yet. Now we need to go and do that. And like I said, the way that I'm doing this is in the project form. I'm going to say auth. Let's make sure that I import that. I'm going to take the logged in user and use the projects relationship. And on that, I'm going to call create. And I'm going to pass the name as this name. I'm probably gonna get a an error because of the model's mass assignment, and that property is not mass assignable. Let's see if that's true. Yep. Add name to the fillable property. Okay. Let's go to project model and let's add a protected. Don't try to write things for me, please. I know what I'm doing. protected, fillable, name. All right, we can now create projects. And since we have a form and we have a specific component for this without a template, we can test the other two. Update, for example, should be pretty easy. Let's go to the test and let's add another method. We'll probably use most of this. Yoink, 12 lies down, add, oh no, add, paste. And let's say change word, update projects. It can update projects. So we still need a user. We need to create that, and we need a project. In this case, I'm going to use create instead, and then I'm going to make one. So new project equals project factory make. This will not be in the database. I'll just use this one to call or set the weight. Okay, now we need to pass a parameter to the add project. Do we? No, wait. How do we do this? I guess the easy way, well, not easy, but since we are going with edit in place in most of the places that we are working with this, I'm guessing what we could do is, well, I was thinking maybe add, like, if you click here in the project name, then you'll get like a form where you can edit in place, just like the group name. But that doesn't align with when we are looking at all of the projects. Well, that would be easy to fix, because if we are looking at all projects, I can just disable the edit, maybe just show a pencil here. And if we're looking at all projects or unassigned projects, you cannot edit that. But if you're looking at one specific project, then you can. You can click on that, change the name, and then update. And I'm guessing we can get away with an edit project component, just like with here. This is a Livewire component called edit group. We can do the same up here. Let's try that. Let's make another component. Let's call it PHP Artisan Make Livewire. What is the name that we're using? Edit. So edit project. And so this will be a component that is going to hold just the input that we use to update the project name. And that component is going to have the form as a public property. So the functionality stays in the form, and this component only uses that functionality. So what we need to do is just mount the edit project component . And let me make sure that that's imported. Yes, it is. So we mount the edit project. We need to pass a parameter here. This will be the project that we are dealing with. And then we are going to set the forms project, because the form is going to have an optional property that holds the project that we are going to edit. That means that as well as setting the project, well, yeah, we need to set the property using the new project name. And we also need to set the form project. And we set that to project. Instead of store, we are calling the update method. And then we just check the database for new project's name. Make sense? So we create a user, we create one project in the database, we create another project in memory, and then we set that project's name into the form so that when we call update, we are going to update this project with the new project's name. And then we check that in the database. Okay, let's try that. Integrity, constraint violation, projects, user ID. Did I not use the... Okay. I need to set the user here. For user. I don't need to set it on the make because I'm not storing that in the database. I'm guessing. So let's save that and let's run it again. Unable to set component data, the public property form is not found in the edit project component, which makes sense. We just created that. Let's open edit project. Let's add a public project form. Let's call that form. That should be enough. Unable to call components method update. Okay, there is no update method in the current component. So let's solve that by adding a public function update. Okay, now it's checking the database, and the projects table has a different project name than the one that we are checking. So now we get to the point where we actually have to update that record in the database. So the way that we want to do this is by calling the forms update method, right? Oh, needs to be this form. Now, if I run this again, that test again, I'm going to have a new problem, which is that we don't have an update method in the form component. So let's solve that. Let's go to project form. Let's add another method, public function update. Which solves the problem, but we're back to the previous error, which is the database. So we are still not updating that. So the way that I want this to work is in this update method, I want to say this this project. We are going to have a project property. and we are going to call the update method on that model, and we're going to pass the name and set that to this name. Now we're going to have a new problem now because there is no property called project. So let's go 13 lines up and let's add that here. So public, and this is going to be an optional property because we are not always going to work with a model. Sometimes we will when we are updating records, we need that. When we're creating records, we don't. So this is going to be optional project. Okay, let's see what we got now, and we are passing. Awesome. Perfect. We can list the projects, we can narrow it down to logged in users, we can create new projects, and we can update those projects. We're just missing the delete, but I'm gonna leave that for later. I don't even know where I'm going to delete. I guess the same, just like Livewire, just like Filament does it, where the update form also has a delete action. Maybe we could do that. That means that the delete method is going to be in the edit project component. That should be easy to test. So let's go to project form test. No. Oh, I need to change the name of this. Hold on. Let me fix that. Where are we? Yeah, this has to change. It's not project form test, this is project test, maybe. Yeah, let's just call it project test. Okay, I'm gonna grab this, go to the end, paste it. It can delete projects. This is going to be in the edit project component. We still need a user. We create a project. Let's create a project in the database. So this is going to be for user and then create. So that's going to be in the database. We don't need to set any properties. We just need to call the delete method. Should be a method called assert database missing, I think. Assert database missing. There it is. Did you import it? Yeah. Now this what does this take? I'm guessing it doesn't take the data, or does it? Let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, save that. Let's run this. There is no delete method, which is fine. So let's go to edit project. Public. I have a shortcut for this, so this will be the delete method. Yes. Oh, wait a second. I forgot that we need to pass this project as a parameter. Yeah. Which means that we need a mount method in the component. We didn't need that before because we directly set the model in the form. But I guess if we're passing it as a parameter, I want that to be automatically set in the form, so that when we call delete, I don't need to set anything else. Oh, and that's the wrong format here. Okay, so we need a delete in the edit project. That's there, save it. Run that again. Okay, it's checking the database and it's finding the record still. So now let's work with what we want to have, which is I want to use the forms, sorry, this form delete. Which is going to give me another problem. Now we need a delete method in the form. So let's open again project form and let's add a new method here. Delete. So that should solve that. We're back to the database. Now I want to do this project because again, I'm expecting this model to be set already. And so I can then call delete on it. Now this is going to give me an error because I cannot call delete on no. Or rather, I cannot access the project property before it's initialized. Because right now it's not initialized, it's just no. So what I need to do is I need a set method. Either a set method, yeah, a set method. Just like we did before, we need a set project. And we're going to take in a project model. And here I'm going to say this project equals project, and just to be safe, I'm going to say also this name equals project name. Now, do we still have that same problem? Yes, because we are never calling this method, so it's still not initialized. So now we need to go to the edit project component and let's add a mount method here. Where we are going to say this form set project with this project. Obviously, we don't have that. We need a public project project. Awesome. We have all the operations covered. We can add, delete, and modify projects. We can also show those projects, scope down those projects by user. So all of the functionality is working and tested. Let me just make sure that there is no errors before we leave. I'm pretty sure there's one failing. Yeah, two actually. It filters tasks by project. That one's failing. Group test. Because now projects belong to users, of course. Filters, I think that's on the end. Filter task, yeah. I need to give this project to the user. See if that works. Let's run this one. Passing, cool. Run pass one more time. There should be only one missing. Yeah, this one. I know I broke that one. So sidebar test. The first one, because this again needs to belong to a user. Project user ID is not set. So let's create a user here. Factory state for user. Create. Run this. Still failing. Why? Attempted to read property projects. Oh, acting as. Of course. It's passing. We run test. Everything is green. 42 passing test. Awesome. Okay. We're going to leave it here for now. We have covered a lot of ground. 1 hour 48 minutes. So we have all of the test cases, and I guess all we need to do now is make use of all of the components that we created now, and just add the UI components and add the templates to them and make sure that all of them work. And next week, I said it was going to be this one, but next week we are going to cover the functionality or the communication between all of those components, because when we click on the sidebar, we need the header to change, and also we need to filter all the tasks in the corresponding groups to just that project. So yeah, it's going to be an awesome chapter next week. If you found any of this helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. That's not what I wanted to hide. Where is it? Oh, here I am. Bye. Ciao.